You're watching KSL Sports Live.
Arango back to goal! Oh! Chicho! Best. Chicho! The second straight week. Luna! Arango!
Chicho ring a 1, 2, 3!
Hat trick! Chicho Arango!
1, 2, 3. Can Chicho do it again today in Minnesota? Happy Saturday, everyone. Thanks for joining us a bit later than usual on this conference weekend. And for us here on KSL Sports Live, it's also a college football weekend. Yes, Sly is in studio to look at former U and former Cougar as they get ready for the NFL Draft. Utah State officially introduces its new head basketball coach up in Logan and the big-time goal that he has for this Aggies team. And will the NHL be here in Utah next season? What a reporter close to the situation is telling KSL Sports. We have all that coming up in just a bit, but we are going to start on the pitch. Winners in 3 of their last 4 games, Real Salt Lake is now 3rd place in the MLS Western Conference standings. Chicho Arango, fresh off his first career hat trick, has scored 5 goals in the last 5 games. Can he find the net again against Minnesota United? Minnesota tied with RSL with 10 points in the standing. The answer to that question is yes.
Pass Rosales to the end line. And in front! And who else? Chicho again!
Chicho's 6th goal of the season came in the 25th minute. His 6th straight game with either a goal or an assist. One behind Javi Morales' record. RSL with the 1-0 lead after 45 minutes. It's still 1-0 in the second half. All right, every week during the football season, you can watch our locals in the NFL segments on KSL Sports Live, but only this weekend can you watch locals in the NFL. First punt pitch at the Giants game. Former Ute Mitch Wishnowsky punting a ball into McCovey Cove. Former Cougar linebacker Fred Warner throwing out the first pitch into the dirt. I think he's going to keep his regular job with the Niners, right? And then former Desert Hills star Penei Sewell threw out the first pitch for the Tigers home opener on Friday as well. Love to see our locals doing stuff like that. You know, we're already a little over a week into the Major League Baseball season, and the Pittsburgh Pirates are the best team in baseball? I know. Hold your horses, Sam. Yeah, there's still 153 games left to play. But still, the Pirates are averaging close to 8 runs per game in their wins, and they're winning in pretty exciting fashion, including on Saturday today, the Pirates hosting the Orioles in the second of 3 games. Tied at 4 in the 11th. Pirates trying to walk it off, but Cedric Mullins has different ideas. The diving catch prevents the run from scoring, but the very next batter will get the job done for Pittsburgh.
Here's Cruz. Line drive right field. That will do it. Or should do it. Here comes the throw. Henry Davis is safe. Praise the Jolly Roger.
The Pirates now 7-2 with the walk-off win. In the AL East, the Blue Jays visiting the Bronx. The Yankees brought out the big bats. Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton would hit back-to-back shots in the bottom of the first inning. And the Yankees took an early 3-0 lead in front of their home crowd. They love baseball in the Bronx. And then, wouldn't you know it, Juan Soto getting his first hit as a Yankee at Yankee Stadium wearing the home pinstripes. Yankees with a lead late in that game, 9-5. All right, Chicago White Sox taking on the Kansas City Royals. Bottom of the 7th. MJ Melendez is going off the glove, I should say, of the defender, Dominic Fletcher, and over the wall for the home run. Sometimes you just need a little extra help to get that ball over the fence, and he got it. Royals win the game 3-0. That's their 3rd win in a row. All right, it's been a pretty quiet spring up on the Hill. Just 1 week left in spring practices for the Utah football program, and all seems to be going according to plan for Coach Kyle Whittingham. Cam Rising has looked sharp and appears ready to retake his spot as the team's leader under center. And the backup quarterback battle's heating up between Brandon Rose and Isaac Wilson. But it's on the defensive side of the ball where the biggest gaps need to be filled. At safety, where Sione Vaki and Cole Bishop both left early for the NFL. But the Utes, they're more than confident there won't be a drop-off at that position this fall.
I think, it's pretty similar with that's the good thing here. We don't have too much turnover, especially when we lose players, whether it's the NFL or transferring. We got a good group of guys and great coaches here that get everyone ready when we need to be out there. So it's a little bit of there's some young guys out here, but obviously we have all the vets that are coming back. I think it's a good mix of young guys and then new vets that are all learning together and just having a fun time.
We continue our preview of locals in the NFL Draft. Stevenson Sylvester back for some more fun. And this week we're taking a look at Sione Vaki, the most versatile player in college football last year. Before we dig into the number slide, just give us your view. You saw him down on the field of just how special he was in a Utah uniform.
Do we have enough time? This guy is awesome. As we talked about each and every week, he's all over the field, offensively, defensively. Yeah. He does everything for you. You could put him in. A couple years ago, he was your kick returner, your punt returner. He could be your personal protector on punt. He could run down on kickoff because his physicality. And then you put him on offense, and he blows everybody's mind. Wow. This guy does everything.
He's not going to have to play offense in the NFL. He's probably only played defense, maybe some special teams. But the fact that he did that shows just how great of an athlete he is. Let's take a look at his measurables.
Now, combine numbers. You look at the combine numbers from all the top safeties and defensive backs, him and Cole Bishop are at the top of everything. Amazing vertical jump. I think he had the highest vertical jump of all the safeties. Great broad jump. I think he was like top 3. And then bench press, top 3 again. This guy was all over the place and making plays at combine.
I looked at a lot of scouts who look at 4.62, and they maybe want him to be a little bit faster, but Sly, you put on the tape, he looks a lot faster than 4.6.
But 4.62, we're talking about a 1/10 of a second, right? But this guy gets done when you put it on the tape. But look this. He was at the combine, and they put the miles per hour. He was one of the top guys with the miles per hour. So it's just like, does the 40 really make sense here? But he did a great job at the combine. Great feet, great hustle, great speed. Everything you saw on film, you were able to see at the combine.
Look, he's going to play defense in the NFL level. On defense, what makes him special? Obviously, he's got versatility overall, but he's also versatile on the defensive side.
Yes. And again, what you want to do is, am I smart? Can I get to the ball? And can I make plays? Yeah. Right? This guy makes plays. Bottom line, you put him around the box, which is great. You get your Derrick Henrys, you get your Tony Pollards, you get these big backs. Can somebody tackle him? As I said, this guy lifts with the D lineman.
He's strong.
So what Utah utilized him as, he literally played along the line of scrimmage almost like a hybrid linebacker safety. So you put him in there, offensive linemen don't account for him because they only account for the front 7, and he makes those plays every single time. He gets in the backfield, makes TFLs, or if they're running bootleg, running somebody back, he has the speed to cover, but he also goes back into the post, into the half, into the third. He can do it all from that position. And then a lot of guys, he makes people get those T-Rex arms over the middle because you don't want to get hit by him.
Right.
So he's just a very versatile defender, and he makes a lot of plays.
He certainly does that. All right. You're a GM. You've watched all this tape. Really impressive. I mean, you can't not be impressed by what he did at the college level. What round should he be drafted in, and what's the best scheme fit for him in the NFL?
Well, looking at all of the top safeties around this draft that are in this draft class, he's at the top, right? And the fact that he can do everything, I think more and more offenses want to be able to have a guy that you can plug and play wherever. He's not solely focused on one position, and that's Sione Vaki. He can play your running back, he can play your slot receiver, he can play your nickel back, he can play your safety, and he can play your kick return. Who needs somebody who can do it all? The Dallas Cowboys.
Whoa.
The Cowboys.
Okay.
I am sold ever since Pro Day. I am all over the Cowboys drafting Sione Vaki. I would say they draft him early because there's a lot of teams that like him. We talk about Taysom Hill every week in locals in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this guy having at least 10 plays on offense, 13 plays on special teams, and at least 30 plays on defense. He is that type of guy.
You think he could do that in the NFL
I think he could do that in the NFL. Because
that would be something.
Every single year you're looking for a new gimmick, right?
Right.
In the last 5 to 10 years, it's been the tight ends. Now you're turning into the Deebo Samuels who can do everything. Now you got the Travis Hunters of Colorado who can play offense and defense all game. This is the new guy right here. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to get him.
That'd be an interesting fit. Second day guy? Second, third round?
Oh, yes. I think he's going second day. Him and Cole Bishop, I think, will go right around the same time. I got Sione Vaki. Depending on where the Cowboys land, I got him in the late second round, early third round.
There you go. Sione Vaki, one of the most intriguing talents in this 2024 NFL Draft.
Job rolling. Oh, down! Welcome home!
From Bountiful to Utah State to the NBA in Cleveland and back to Utah. More on Sam Merrill's return to Salt Lake and why Will Hardy benched his rookies last night in LA. That's next.
Time and time again, you look at his highlights, you look at his game tape, he stays in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield.
And more from JJ and Sly. With so many good quarterbacks in this draft class, is there a place in the draft for BYU's Keaton Slovis? Sly will let us know coming up. NBA, the Cavaliers visiting the Lakers first quarter. Austin Reeves finds LeBron soaring in for the alley-oop. Skip ahead to the fourth quarter. How about another one? Anthony Davis throwing it up this time. LeBron going for it again with that alley-oop. LeBron finished with 24 points and 12 assists. Lakers get the win, and they sit at 8th in the play-in right now. Not a bad spot. So much talent in that Western Conference. You know, over the past week, we've seen the Utah Jazz rebuild in full-blown execution, starting all 3 rookies from this past draft, all 3 having some success, too. That was until last night's game against the Clippers when the leash was short and the patience kind of ran out. Just 5.5 minutes into the game, the Jazz showed little signs of energy and poor execution. They trailed the Clippers 24-7 when Will Hardy cleared the bench and subbed out those 3 rookies, Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, and Bryce Sensabaugh. They wouldn't return for the rest of the half, and they didn't resume their starting roles to begin the second half either. They would return later in the game, but none of them played more than 19 minutes in that game. What was behind Coach Hardy's decision?
Yeah, I mean, we had, I believe at the time we were down 19 in 6 minutes. One, just as with my responsibility to the team as a whole, it was absolutely apparent that we needed a change. You know, with the guys that came off the bench, I thought the intent and the intensity and the general, like, team spirit that we had in those moments was what I'm looking for.
Well, here's a guy who's got some spirit. During the first 3 seasons of Sam Merrill's NBA career, he played in just 41 games. He was never active when his team played games in Utah. He's had a breakout season this year with the Cavs, and on Tuesday, for the first time in his career, he was in uniform here in Utah. Not just in uniform, but he played 32 minutes off the bench, scoring 18 points on 6 made three-pointers. He had several family and friends in the stands, too, and he said this one actually had him pretty nervous.
Honestly, I was pretty nervous. I haven't been this nervous for a game in a while, to be honest. But, you know, felt like I played pretty well, made some shots, could have made a couple more. But like you said, we just needed to get a win tonight. And we got another one coming up tomorrow that we got to get ready for real quick.
What made you so nervous?
Just a lot of family here, a lot of people here that I know wanted to play well, but you know, once I got out there, everything went away. So okay.
Is there a part of that where all these people who have been along your journey in these trials and tribulations to get to this point, they're here for you? Does that kind of play into that?
For sure, yeah, and obviously very grateful for my entire sports staff and everyone that's helped me along the way. And you know, I'm going to go take a quick shower and thank them all here and hopefully sign some autographs. Welcome home.
Well, from the court to the gridiron, Utah State held its first scrimmage of spring practices. Head coach Blake Anderson ran the team through a 2-hour scrimmage. He got a better look at his developing quarterback competition. Iowa transfer Spencer Petras and Cooper Laga got a majority of those snaps.
We're working our butts off, and I think we're improving daily and just having a blast, man. Spring ball is one of the most fun times of the year because you really can just focus on ball.
They both have a good grasp of what we're doing. And on any given day, man, they can make all the throws. It's going to be really, really tough. They're both doing good things for me. And like today, I mean, we didn't turn the ball over in terms of just throwing picks and putting the ball in defense's hands, and that gives us a chance to be successful.
We continue our preview of locals in the NFL Draft with Stevenson Sylvester. This week, BYU quarterback Keaton Slovis. Before we get into the measurables, just your overall impressions of Keaton's career. You saw him at USC and BYU. What do you think about him playing in the NFL?
Yeah, he's taken his trips to a couple different schools, but I think he's definitely a capable quarterback, right? You don't get a scholarship as a true freshman and play at USC without being talented, and he's definitely shown it over the years. He has the capability. He can make NFL throws. I really like this kid.
Let's get into some of the measurables here. I mean, he's got the size and the strength.
Yeah, 6'2", 6'3", 220 pounds. Of course, everybody looks at this and thinks that needs to be the final number. Maybe the height. Maybe some guys grow, some guys don't. But the weight, everybody can put weight on if need be, but you don't need to, especially in this day and age. The guy runs a 4.5 40.
That blew everybody away.
It's the fastest of all the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest, Michael Penix with a 4.59, 4.57.
Yeah.
And so and he has great numbers, great athletic numbers. So you could put him in an offense where you do athletic things like the Eagles or even the Cowboys do something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking the speed of, I think the NFL scouts are going to look at that and be like, you know what? Maybe he has some things we can do with him. Yeah, maybe he didn't show at the college level.
Yeah, exactly. And that just adds, and that's why the combine's here, right?
Yeah.
What do we not see on tape that we can possibly translate? Because all it is projections. How can we project things? He can make NFL throws. We can see that. But he also has that other asset of speed that we can utilize in this offense.
But let's be honest, in the NFL, they want his arm. And he's got an arm. He can make NFL throws. This is an NFL throw right here.
Oh, yes. This guy, he's done some tremendous things. He can fit into complex offenses. But this vision, this touch, this is all touch right here. Here to put BYU ahead in this football game. This was the play of the game. I remember this all year. This was awesome. But here, going back from you faking left, looking right, going back to your left to make I know Chase Roberts put some little sprinkle on top of that, but that was awesome.
Spectacular play, but he put the ball where nobody could get it other than the receiver.
But this guy's great, right? 4.5 40. But
there's some of that athleticism right there.
He stays in the pocket. Time and time again, you look at his highlights, you look at his game tape, he stays in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, wants to throw, has the ability to run, which sometimes he needs to do more than others because his interception rate is a little high.
We'll get to that.
But he stays in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, and delivers the football to his receivers. You've seen that time and time again between USC, Pitt, and BYU.
Yeah. I think based on his arm and the throws he's made in college, he'd be in this group of quarterbacks this year that we'd be talking about in the first, second, third round. But we're not. The reason? The turnovers.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of bad throws, and BYU fans know he made a lot of mistakes on throws last year. Too many pick sixes.
Well, as a career stat, this is not great. Right? You got 4 games with 3+ interceptions and 9 games with 2+ interceptions. But who else had a lot of interceptions in the NFL? Brett Favre. And he's legendary, right? Brett Favre would throw the ball away like crazy. But he has the capability, the potential with the right coaching. He could be able to learn from those things.
All right, now time to put your GM hat on. Is the arm enough to make NFL scouts and GMs look past the interceptions and the turnovers?
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, because hopefully you get some prideful GMs who are just like, I can make the difference. I can make this guy better. I think that Keaton Slovis will go undrafted.
Okay.
This is a good opportunity for him to be able to choose where he wants to go if he doesn't get drafted.
The Cardinals in his hometown would make a good fit. Hopefully he can make the third quarterback position there. He can make it a backup. There's a lot of good backups in the league, but there's also some not great backups. He's more than capable of being that guy. All right,
sir.
Thanks, Sly.
Well, hey, Utah, are you ready for the NHL full-time in our state? This could happen next season. The latest on the reports that the Coyotes will be sold coming up next. Stanley Cup playoffs, so let's hit the ice. Tampa Bay taking on Pittsburgh. The Penguins running with a 4-1 lead, but the Lightning weren't going away. Third period, Lightning on the power play. Steven Stamkos scores. Tampa scores 3 straight goals to tie the game at 4-4. But then Michael Bunting, he scores the go-ahead goal for Pittsburgh late in the third period, and the Penguins hang on for the 5-4 win. I hope the powers that be in the hockey universe aren't playing with us here in Utah. But this week, reports out of Arizona came out saying that the Arizona Coyotes owner, Alex Marullo, has been shopping around, looking for potential buyers of his team. Those reports came from longtime Phoenix sports radio host John Gambardoro from Arizona Sports 98.7, who said with 100% certainty that these conversations have happened, indicating that they have happened with Ryan Smith. Gambo joined Hans and Scotty yesterday on the KSL Sports Zone and doubled down, saying that his sources tell him the team will be heading to Salt Lake City.
So I got a call the other day from reliable source with the Coyotes, basically telling me that in the next week or so, Bettman's going to announce that the team's being sold and moving to Salt Lake City, and then he told the Morellos, who own the Coyotes, that if they do get an arena built, they can eventually get an expansion team.
Oh, please make it happen. Hey, you know what? We haven't forgotten about one of our other major league teams in action this weekend. The Utah Warriors. We got the rugby highlights next. The Utah Warriors took on Anthem RC after a rough first half. The Warriors went into the half down 19-15, but in the second, they flipped the switch, led by 2 tries from Michael Manson. The Warriors outscored the Anthem 29-0 for the 44-19 win. Warriors now 2-3 on the season. Up next, Dallas next Friday. Have a good night. We'll see you at 9.